Official history says these 100-ton granite blocks were cut with copper chisels, but you can't even slide a knife blade between them. Buried underground in Indonesia lies a pyramid that some estimates say is 15,000 years older than the pyramids of Egypt. In India, an entire mountain was carved into a temple with zero room for error. And somewhere in the Pacific Ocean stands a city built on a coral reef out of 50-ton stone blocks. Today, 9 of the most mysterious places on Earth that still baffle archaeologists stay until the end. The final location is considered one of history's most inconvenient artifacts.
In 2010, geologists scanned an ordinary hillside and found a buried complex that some dating estimates place at up to 20,000 years old. That's the Ice Age, when woolly mammoths still roamed the earth, and mainstream archaeology says humans back then lived in caves and built nothing more complex than a shelter. So who assembled these terraces of hexagonal basalt columns? The columns themselves are actually a natural formation. They occur when lava cools slowly. But someone came along much later and stacked these ready-made natural blocks into a massive man-made complex, using nothing but hands, wood, and time.
In India, builders didn't stack walls. They destroyed an entire mountain. The Kailasa temple was carved out of a single solid rock, from the top down, not built from the ground up like every other structure on Earth. Roughly 200,000 tons of volcanic rock were chiseled away by hand, with no cranes and no lifting machinery. There was zero room for error. One wrong strike of the hammer and the whole temple would be ruined forever, since carved stone can never be undone. Historians estimate workers removed dozens of tons of rock every single day for nearly 20 years. The secret wasn't alien lasers. Off the coast of Japan, a diver was looking for sharks and found a staircase underwater instead. Perfectly flat terraces and sharp right angles now sit at a depth the ocean only reached after rising more than 10,000 years ago. Geologists say the base is natural sandstone, a rock type known to fracture into clean, straight edges entirely on its own. But strange straight grooves and holes on some of the blocks suggest people may have modified this natural blank before the rising ocean swallowed it at the end of the last ice age. A farmer in Turkey was doing routine repairs in his basement and accidentally broke through into an underground city 18 levels deep. Derinkuyu could shelter roughly 20,000 people, along with livestock, food stores, and ventilation shafts plunging as deep as 85 meters. Who were they hiding from underground? Raiding armies or religious persecution? The soft volcanic tuff is easy to carve, yet hardens once exposed to air. A perfect material for a shelter that has survived for thousands of years. Its ventilation system still impressing engineers today.
In the mountains of Lebanon lies the so-called trilithon, 3 stone blocks weighing roughly 800 tons each, set into the foundation of an ancient temple. These are the heaviest worked stones ever lifted and placed by human hands in the history of construction. Nearby, still sitting in the old quarry, is an unfinished block weighing over 1,000 tons, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman. Why was it abandoned halfway? It's not that explanations are missing, it's that the blueprints never survived. Massive wooden scaffolding, ropes, and hundreds of workers were likely involved, but the exact method has never been fully reconstructed.
The Venice of the Pacific, the city of Nan Madol, built on a coral reef from 750,000 tons of basalt logs. How did islanders with no wheels and no metal tools move 50-ton blocks across open water? The most likely explanation is wooden rafts, ocean tides, and years of careful planning. But Nan Madol wasn't just a harbor city. According to legend, it was a seat of power where tribute was collected from other islands and local chiefs were kept firmly under control, making it possibly the region's earliest known centralized political system. High in the Bolivian mountains, at nearly 4,000 meters above sea level, lie scattered slabs of andesite and diorite, stone harder than steel. On them, perfectly straight grooves, identical rectangular notches, and holes of matching diameter, as if machined from a single blueprint. The mainstream explanation is abrasive sand and copper or bronze tools, combined with years of patient hand polishing. But the near-identical repetition of these elements still makes modern engineers double-check their own measurements. That kind of precision without machine tools seems almost implausible. Above the city of Cusco, the Inca built the fortress wall of Sacsayhuamán from stones weighing up to 200 tons, fitted so tightly you still can't slide a knife blade between them. No mortar at all, just perfect polygonal stonework that has survived centuries of earthquakes, while Spanish buildings erected right next to it after the conquest repeatedly collapsed. The secret is likely in the shape itself. Polygonal blocks distribute seismic force far better than straight right angles. It seems the Inca weren't building for beauty. They were building for structural survival, and they were centuries ahead of European engineers in doing it. And finally, Egypt, the underground Serapeum at Saqqara. Here, more than 20 granite sarcophagi sit underground, each weighing up to 100 tons. Their interior corners are cut to almost exactly 90 degrees, and the surface is polished to a near mirror finish.
Merciful heavens!
When these sarcophagi were opened in the 19th century, they were found completely empty. Why build such a massive stone vault and put nothing inside it? The narrow underground tunnels still make it hard to explain how these blocks were ever moved into place, even using simple levers and wet clay ramps. That's exactly why this site is often called one of the most inconvenient artifacts in classical archaeology. 9 locations, 3 continents, thousands of years, and not a single final answer. Ancient people weren't primitive. They had time, patience, and a shared purpose that's often missing from our own world, where everything has to be ready instantly. But one question remains. Do we really know everything about our past, or have we simply gotten used to convenient answers? Which of these 9 locations surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you watch to the end, hit like and subscribe, because it only gets stranger from here.